The other thing that focusing on the team can really do if HR can get their head around this high performing and personality is to also understand things like groupthink, right? If all my team members are doers, well, we're going to be really good at doing things, but it might not necessarily be the right things. And I'm going to give you an example of that in a second. And then there's also, well, a HR being that strategic advisor to the team and the leader in terms of what preferences does the leader have that might actually influence the team, what they focus on versus, right? If you're a leader that's really focused on doing and organizing, well, you might not necessarily focus on the opposite side, which is that innovation and helping and so forth. So HR really needs to provide that advice on how to fill the gaps, how to manage those essential 8 key types of work of high performing teams, what systems, what mechanisms are needed to provide coverage, not just in terms of, what people are motivated by. So it becomes that essentially that high performing coach. I'm going to give you an example of this. So there's a mine here in Queensland that we did a bit of work for, and it was for their safety department. And it was really interesting because where the work all started was, and if you've listened to previous webinars I've done, I've given this example before, but I really love this example because I think it nails it. So this safety department said, look, we've got a really bad reputation in the business and we can't figure out why. We keep doing all the work, we keep writing all the policies, the procedures and so forth, but it seems that our key stakeholders just aren't happy. When we looked at the individual personalities and how they actually mapped onto this work wheel, what we found was everybody in the team were doers. So what they were doing were sitting behind their computers and punching out a lot of work, writing a lot of policies, writing a lot of procedures. But what they didn't do and didn't feel comfortable with is the key word here. They didn't go out to the rest of the organization, the operational teams, to actually understand how should policies be written, how should procedures, safety procedures be designed, and so forth. So they were designing things, but it just wasn't fit for purpose. What they were able to do post that was to say, okay, well, everybody are doers, fine. Right? We're not going to fire everybody and we're not going to hire new people to provide coverage, but we needed to put mechanisms in place to actually ensure that we get away from the computer, that we actually spend some time and effort in terms of getting to know our stakeholders, what their needs are and so forth. So they really needed to, I guess, design the workflows and the tasks within the team to provide that better coverage. And this is where HR really becomes important because you don't need to pay a management consultant a ton of money to come and do this. This is where HR, if they've got that knowledge of high-performing teams, of personality, can actually be that strategic advisor inside of organizations as well. So, so focusing on that individual, moving on to the team, that's the second level there.
Fantastic. So it's based on the quality and characteristics of the team members and that are together combined in predicting that behaviour and performance. And I think that example we just gave is a really clear illustration. It's really easy to grab onto that.